Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Make It Pretty. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be applying a large vinyl decal. Small vinyl decals are easier to apply. You just kind of peel them off, stick them on where you want them, and there's not really a whole lot of getting them straight or even or things like that. But when you're dealing with a larger vinyl decal, the process can be daunting for some people. You want to get it straight, you don't want it cockeyed, you want to line it up in the center and different things like that. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to apply a larger vinyl decal and have it be where you want it to be. Now when you get a decal, it's going to come basically with three parts. It's going to have the backer, which is the paper that the sticker is made on, which is this part back here. It's going to be attached to the transfer tape, which is the front part. It can come in two different styles. It can come in this clear plastic, or it can be this style here that's like a tacky paper, almost like a little bit stronger than a Post-it note. Depending on the application, I prefer doing it two different ways. I like the paper better for most projects. But in this application, the plastic will work better because I have to line it up with some tape marks that we're going to put on the truck. So before you get going, you want to make sure that this sticker, both sides of it, is nice and clean. So you take a rag and you wipe it off. Any dust or contaminants that are on it can get transferred to the sticker when you start peeling this thing off. So you want to make sure that it's all dusted off. The electrostatic cling that these things develop when you start peeling them off will make the dust stick underneath your sticker, and that's bad. You don't want any dust on your sticker. The next thing you want to do is you want to figure out where the center of your sticker is. You can measure it and then divide that in half and then put a Sharpie mark on your transfer tape to give you your center, or you can just simply fold it in half, figure out where the center is with the light, give it a little pinch on this side, and it will let you know where the center is. Then you can put your Sharpie mark. So now that we've got it centered, we've got it cleaned off, now we're going to go to the vehicle and we're going to start the application process. Now I've said this many times, prep is king. Whenever you're getting ready to put a large vinyl sticker on, it's really important to make sure that the surface is clean and smooth as you can possibly get it. Any dirt or contaminants that are stuck, in this case we're putting it on paint, any contaminants that are stuck to the paint, when you put your sticker over it, will show as a bump in the sticker. And we don't want that. If you get an air pocket, we can deal with that later after the sticker's been applied. With a small pin, you can poke a hole in the bubble and squeeze the air out. You can get on it with a heat gun and kind of smooth it out. But if you've got dirt on here, then you can't do anything about it. Once you stick the sticker on, the dirt's going to be trapped underneath the sticker and there's nothing that you can do. So we're going to start the process I did on this. Since I had a lot of road tar here, this is right behind the front wheel. It's low on the door. I had a lot of road tar and some stuff that was stuck on here, so I had to go through and really clean this up. I went and wet sanded this whole section with 3000 grit sandpaper, and then I went back over it with the buffing compound to then bring the shine back, and then I went over it and scrubbed it with 91% alcohol. Scrubbed it really good with the alcohol to take all of the buffing compound residue off. Now it's super smooth like glass. So I don't feel any contaminants in this paint across here. So the next thing that we have to do is figure out where we want it. I want it centered on the door. So the first thing you're going to do is take your tape measure, measure your door. This is 49.5 inches across. So I divided that in half and I put a small tape mark here and drew a line on it with a Sharpie for my center mark. That gives me where I want this to go. We're going to match that up with the center mark we made on the sticker. Now we have to get it level on the door. Across the top of this sticker, there's no level areas. It's all up and down because of the way the letters are produced. But the bottom is completely level. So we're going to use the bottom to use for our level point. I want it to match the body line or the pinstriping on the truck. So I'm going to measure 5.5 inches down. That's where I want the bottom of this sticker to be. We're going to put a line across the door at 5.5 inches, and then we'll line our sticker up onto that line. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to get some reference points so we can do some measuring so we can make our line. I know that the sticker itself is about 40 inches wide. So I'm going to come out here about 21 inches and put a piece of tape. And that will give me my first kind of reference line for our vertical marks. Go across here. Get it about there. And this doesn't have to be exact, it just has to be wider than your sticker. And then we're going to put another tape this side. About there. So that gives us our reference that our sticker is going to be narrower than those two marks. So now we're going to take your blue painter's tape and we're going to make a vertical line of tape all the way down the door from that mark. And then we're going to do the same thing in the back. Now on these two pieces of tape, we're going to do our 5.5 inch measurement. So we take our Sharpie, 5.5 inches from the top of the pinstriping. We make a mark. And then you do the same thing here. So we have two marks at 5.5 inches. That is our level mark that's going to level it with this pinstripe. So now we take a piece of tape, stick it right on that line. Stretch it across the back here to this line. And then I'm going to double check my center measurement before I press the tape down. It's 5.5. So if my center is 5.5 and the two edges are 5.5, then I'm 5.5 all the way across there. So now I'll go ahead and push that tape down. That's where I want the sticker to be. Now with a larger sticker, you want to apply it using the wet method. Basically, you're going to spray a bunch of fluid on the area that you're sticking it to, and you're going to spray the back of your sticker after you peel off this white paper. That way, it allows you to reposition the sticker and move it around a bit to get it to where you want it before you squeegee it down and put it there forever. Now this is actual what they call transfer fluid. It comes in a concentrated little bottle, and then you mix it up in 1-gallon jugs. You can also make your own. I do a lot of vinyl, so I have this, they send me this transfer fluid when I buy vinyl. But you can make your own with water, dish soap, and a little bit of alcohol. We'll kind of take a break here and I'll show you how to do that. Making homemade transfer fluid is pretty easy. Get yourself a 32-ounce bottle, fill it up
almost to the top with water, but leave yourself about a 1/4 cup of room at the top. So fill it up, about to there. Then add about a 1/4 cup of 70 or 90% alcohol. And put it up to the top ring of the spray bottle, right about there. Then add a few drops of dish soap. Make sure it's stuff that doesn't have hand moisturizer or something like that in there. Just Dawn dish soap is fine. Put the top on, shake it up, and you're done. You can also use that spray tint fluid that you can get at auto parts stores.
So now to start this process, I'm going to take the backing paper and I'm going to peel it free of the transfer paper and sticker. So it's going to come out like this. So now I have the sticker on the transfer paper. So now I'm just going to take the squirt bottle and I'm going to spray the whole back of that sticker and really hose it down. And then I'm going to come here and I'm going to spray this down. And then I'm going to go get my sticker. So you can't have too much. You're going to take your sticker and line it up with your center mark and your bottom tape right at the bottom of your letters. And it didn't go on where I wanted it the first shot, so I peeled it back off. That's what the transfer fluid does. It gives you a film between the sticker and the place where you're putting it so that you can get it where you want it. Right there is where I want it. I want it just like an 1/8 inch off that sticker. You don't want it over the sticker, you want it just above it, but it's an 1/8 inch all the way across. So now you take a squeegee. You can use a credit card if that's all you have. This is a larger sticker, so I'm using a larger squeegee. You can also use the smaller squeegees. And you squeegee from the center out. And the adhesive on these vinyl stickers is pressure sensitive. So you can take a rag and you just rub over all the letters. You want it to stick really good. You're pressing pretty hard, so you're building friction, which builds heat. And heat will help you get this applied nice and strong. While you're doing this, be watching for liquid pockets. Let me get my light over here so I can see a little bit better. You're going to look for little bubbles and pockets in your letters. Push those to the edge while the glue is still setting. So there I have it, all pressed in, nice and tight. I don't see any pockets or liquid pockets in there. With this clear plastic, the transfer paper, it doesn't dry the same as the paper stuff does. The paper stuff will dry through it and it will come off a little bit easier later. And later on you can spray some transfer fluid on the top of the paper and then the transfer paper will come off easier. With this clear plastic transfer paper, you don't get that. It's sealed. Any liquid that's back there, which will typically be right around the edges of the sticker, will not dry up. It'll still be wet when I pull off this plastic part. Now you don't want to pull it off right away. If you're doing a small decal where you're dry applying it, you just stick it on, squeegee it down while you're sticking it on, and then you can immediately peel off your transfer paper. When you're wet applying, you don't want to do that. You want the glue to have a chance to start bonding to the paint below it. You can help it out with a heat gun and warm it up with a heat gun, or you can do more rubbing and help it transfer. But you want to let it sit for about a half hour to an hour and really bond well, because that pressure sensitive, and almost all of these vinyls have a 3M adhesive on it. It's a pressure sensitive adhesive that takes a little bit to set up. And that's it. We'll come back in about an hour. We'll peel off this clear part and it'll be all ready to go. Right now I'm going to go ahead and peel off this blue tape. This blue tape is not acid-free tape. If you don't know what acid-free tape is and acid tape, then where's it going to be? It might be over here, but it might be over here. I'll put a card up here that's a link to my tape video that talks about different kinds of tapes and what they have in the glue. Now, if you're working on glass, the process can be a little bit faster than what I had to do here. I needed this to be super smooth, so I had to do sanding. If you're working on glass, you don't have to sand that. The best thing to do with glass is to use some sort of glass cleaner, ammonia, or I like to use just straight alcohol, and a 4-000 steel wool. It won't hurt your glass. It will not scratch your glass. That's one of the videos that's going to be coming out here pretty soon is cleaning, how to clean your front windshield with all the bugs and road grime and everything else. But you use steel wool for that. It's 0000, 4-0 steel wool. You use that on the glass with some alcohol and it will clean every bit of contaminant off your glass and it will be like brand new. That's the best way to prepare a window or a piece of car glass for a vinyl sticker. So we'll be back in an hour and we'll check it out. So, for the last part of this video, I got everything set up and I clicked the button and did the video and clicked the button. And both of the times I clicked the button, it took picture because I'm dumb and I didn't have it set on video. I had it set on picture. I'm sorry. Now it's all done. You didn't get to see it happen. And I'm going to try to explain what I just did. It's not just as simple as grab the paper and rip it off. But I'll give you the gist. I'm really sorry. This transfer tape, the clear stuff, is got a more aggressive stickiness on it than the paper stuff does. The paper stuff will come off a lot easier than this clear plastic. But I like using the clear plastic for something like this because I have to see through it to be able to see where that tape was so I get it at the right line. So when you're peeling this stuff off, it's going to be stuck on really good, and you're going to want to fold it back and peel it off at a really extreme angle. You don't want to lift up on it, pull it straight out, because it will pull up, or it could pull up your actual vinyl decal. So you want to kind of fold it back and just roll it right back and watch your decal as you're pulling it apart so that it doesn't lift one of the corners of your stickers. If it starts to lift it, then slide it back down, give it a good rub, and then peel it back again, and it'll stick back down. When you're doing a wet transfer, it's real common for these corners to get lifted up on this really sticky transfer tape. So you're going to go all the way down really slow. Don't rush it. You've done all this work to get to this point. This is the last step. If you just grab it and rip it off, you're going to pull one of the letters off or rip one of the letters, and you don't want that to happen because then you got to take it all back off and start all over. So just take your time, peel it back nice and slow. Eventually you'll get to the end and then it'll pop off. And then you'll have a bunch of this stuff left over. Now this stuff will leave at some places some tacky residue on the stickers. You just take yourself a microfiber towel and just rub that glue off. It won't be a big deal. You just give it a rub. You can actually right now go across all the letters and give them another rub down to get that glue really setting. And then once you get it all shined up, you're done. Now when you're maintaining this, you don't want to hit this with a power washer, a strong power washer directly on it, because you can peel letters off. These letters can be removed. If you wanted to take them off later on, you can knock them off with a power washer, a strong one, or you can hit them with a heat gun and peel them off by hand, but you can remove these. So later on down the road, if you wanted to change, you could take these off and put different ones on. Maintaining them is just hand washing, and then you can wax right over top of them. You can wax your paint and just wax right over the sticker too. It'll help protect the sticker, and it'll keep it all nice. So that's that. I think it looks great. I've got a matching one on the other side. I think this one was a success. So if you got something good out of this video, then click the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel so we can put out more content for you, and have safe travels, and I hope to see you on the road.